Right, let's talk about one of the most viral outrage headlines in the business world. And it goes like this. CEOs earn 300 times more than their staff, and that's not fair. You'll see it in the media, you'll hear it from the unions, and you'll feel it in the comment sections every time a big company posts their annual results. And I get it, it sounds disgusting. But here's the thing, emotion doesn't pay the bills, and fairness is not about feelings, it's about value. So let's break this down properly. The idea is simple. The CEO earns millions, the worker earns 30K. How can that possibly be fair? It's framed like theft, like the guy at the top is hoarding all the gold while everyone else is struggling to get scraps. But when you actually understand how business works, you realise that this gap exists for a reason.
Let me hit you with a mad stat. You are probably not subscribed. Seriously, 58% of the people who listen to this podcast every single week do not hit that subscribe button. That is more than half of you. So let's fix this right now. The goal here is super simple. We grow the podcast, we bring in bigger guests, and we give you even more no bullshit, actionable insights to level up your business and to level up your life. Now in business, you set SMART goals. That's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. Well, here's one for you. Let's get that 58% down to well below 50% in the next 3 months. So please do me a quick favor. If this podcast has ever given you one good idea, one piece of advice that's helped you or helped your business, then hit that subscribe button. It takes a second, it costs nothing, and it means that I can keep bringing you even bigger and better guests, giving you even bigger and better insights. Go on, do it now. I'll wait. Done? Perfect. Great choice. Let's grow this together.
The cleaner, the receptionist, the sales rep, they're all paid for their time. But the CEO, he's paid for results. Because look, a good CEO's decisions, they can launch a product, they can enter a new market, they can save a company, they can grow it by billions. One good or bad call from them can quite literally change absolutely everything. And that kind of responsibility, that kind of pressure, you don't pay 60 grand a year for that. If you want a business to perform like Amazon, then you need an operator who can think like Bezos. And guess what? The best CEOs, the real needle movers, they're in global demand. And if you don't pay them, somebody else will. And you can cry about the number all you want, or you can ask, how much value are they creating compared to what they're actually being paid? And in most cases, it's an absolute fraction. Another thing people forget is a lot of that so-called greedy CEO pay is actually equity, bonuses, and performance linked. They don't just get 10 million quid put into their bank account at the beginning of a year. They get it by hitting growth targets, by share price milestones, and by revenue goals. If the business wins, then they win. But if it tanks, then they lose too. Now try saying that about your average 9-to-5 contract. Now let's be real, some CEOs do take the piss. They get golden parachutes for failure, they spin the numbers, and they reward themselves through dodgy bonuses. Now that isn't capitalism, that's weak governance. And you solve that by fixing the structure, by holding people accountable. But don't assume that every CEO is a fraud just because occasionally some of them are. If you want fairness, then stop trying to drag the top down and start helping people move up. Train better, create more opportunity, raise the floor without capping the ceiling. Because when a CEO earns 10 million and creates $1 billion in value, I mean, that's not injustice, that's an unbelievably good deal. Here's the truth, if your CEO earns 300 times more than you, that is not your ceiling, that is your challenge. What can you learn, build, lead, or solve that is going to make you worth more? Don't whinge about someone else's pay. Figure out how to increase your own value in the market, because business doesn't give a shit about what's fair. It cares about what works. Now, if listening to what I've just said has made you realise you've got £1 million idea in you and you're going to find a way to get paid for it, then tell me about it in the comments.